Namaste Yin Yogis, and welcome to our Yin Yoga class. This will be a class focused on lower body and movement of the spine. So let's go ahead and grab 2 blocks if you have them, or grab a couch pillow and maybe a blanket or a beach towel. First pose we're going to take is our seated diamond posture. So let's come onto the outer edge of our blanket. You can always roll up the edge of your mat if you need a little bit of a pelvic tilt. We're going to bring the feet forward here, so creating that gentle diamond shape between the inner leg. So heels walk away, outer edges of the feet will touch, and then the feet will just gently splay open like a book. And we'll start here, elongating the spine. Notice if you'd like some support here for the legs, and you can always slide 2 blocks underneath. So from here, just gently start to hinge forward from the hips. You can start to walk the hands down. And without needing to go into too deep of a forward fold, just kind of pause where you start to feel that sensation in the outer thigh. And start to notice your breath here as we come into our first pose. Perhaps the chin draws gently towards the chest, bringing a stretch through the back of the neck. And from this space, you can start to focus here on this grounding posture, maybe breathing into the base of the belly, the low back. Drawing your breath up into the rib cage, mid-back, all the way up to the chest, the collarbone, the shoulder blades. And then sending that gentle breath back down. So inhaling and exhaling up the spine and down. And as we take our first pose here, just let the mind and the thoughts arrive into this space that you've carved out for yourself in your practice. Your hands might slowly inch a little bit closer to the floor. Notice your edge here. So most importantly is that we're not forcing or jamming the body into any posture, but just letting that organic, very gentle movement. And you'll notice when we take these forward folds, the more yin way of doing folds is that we let the upper body just round here softly, and that stretches the tissue through the back. So you also get that nice openness through the spine. Good. Feel the body getting heavier here. Let gravity draw the body down. And then let your arms just rest. So if they're not resting on the legs, you can rest them on 2 blocks. You can grab the feet with the hands. Beautiful. Let's start to inhale. Slowly start to walk the hands back. Take your time here to lengthen, and we'll draw the knees towards each other and the feet flat. And then walk the palms behind you, fingers facing back, and we'll just windshield wiper here right to left. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to move into deer pose, and I'm just going to face this way so you can see me. We may use some blocks here, or if you have a bolster. So we'll start with our butterfly pose. We'll walk the heels a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and take our right leg, and I'll mirror you here, and walk your right heel behind your right hip. So you have 90-90 here if you can. So notice how this looks like deer antlers. Now you'll start to notice that very natural twist that's going to happen with the upper body coming over that left thigh. And this is the first variation of the pose. Some people just stay here. You might feel that nice stretch through the inner right thigh as well. So observe your hips, noticing one is internally rotating, the other is externally rotating. If you need to bring your heels a little bit closer to make the hips feel safe and secure, go ahead and do that. Okay, option A, you stay upright, work on extension of the spine and just having this very elongated twist. Otherwise, if we have healthy back here, and we can start to fold. So here you may use some props. So bring the ground to you, especially as we get into it. Okay, so you're going to start to fold over that left thigh. Now notice if this is too much for your back. So folding and twisting is not for everybody, right? And we really need to pay attention to how our body is responding, especially to more complicated postures. So any pinching or sharp sensation we feel, we want to come out of the pose or come into a modified variation. So here we have a lot going on, right? We might feel that sensation through the lower body, maybe the hips. And then we also have this twist here if you're folded. So notice what that does for the back, especially if we have tight muscles here, mid and upper back. It might feel really nice. So another cue is to make sure that we can breathe easily and comfortably. Breath should be fluid without strain, and breath will always let us know if we've gone just a little bit too far. So observe the depth of the breath. If it feels comfortable for you to start to inch the upper body closer to the floor, you can start to remove any props here. Today it feels right for me to stay just as I am. I can feel the edge, not too much and not too little. Beautiful. Couple more breaths here. On the next breath, we'll start to gently lift. So we want to go as slow as we get into the pose. We want to take our time to come out. Releasing any props if we have them. Take that outer right leg and you'll slide it on top of the left. Gentle here and bring the feet flat. And then from here, take those windshield wipers right to left. Excellent. All right, let's move it to the other side. Butterfly pose. And you can have a blanket under you. It's not necessary, but it's just a little bit of extra comfort. So really it's just an option here. All right, if you want to twist, go ahead and grab your props. We'll take that left heel this time, walk it to the left side behind the left hip. See if we can move into 90-90 here with the knees. If this is too much, we have anything going on with the outer left hip, walk your heel in, make the pose accessible. You can also walk your foot to the inner thigh. Okay, so your shape, your variation. Option here to stay in an elongated twist here. Torso centering over that right thigh. If we are going to fold, take a nice deep breath in, get tall. The exhale, we start to twist here, folding. And notice what level that you like the blocks, right? So you might be on a higher level. And it could also depend on this side of the body. So just know that as we are asymmetrical beings, we can honor each side by taking the modifications that we need and not forcing the body into the same symmetry that it had on the other side. Good. Notice where you feel sensation on this side. Is it much different than what you were experiencing on the other? Perhaps we draw the chin towards chest, relaxing the head, letting it get heavy. Beautiful. We start to inhale and lift. Walk the hands back. Lift the torso. Go ahead and glide that left knee on top of the right. Bringing the feet flat. Windshield wipering the knees right to left. Okay, let's make our way on the belly. Maybe one block at the top of the mat. You can keep your blanket underneath the pelvis area, the pelvic area if you'd like to, or you can just remove it here. All right, Sphinx pose is next. We're focusing on that low back. So let's move into our traditional Sphinx first. We'll keep the elbows underneath the shoulders, lift the crown of the head. So you'll start to feel that slight engagement of the back muscles. Good. Now notice if this is too intense of a back bend, and you'll start to walk your fingertips forward a little bit to release that intensity. Also, check in with your glutes and notice if you're squeezing or tightening here, and then try to soften. So we have option A, we can gaze forward, taking our traditional Sphinx. You can also draw chin towards chest, use your head as a prop, stretch through the back of the neck. And this may be nice to have a prop here underneath the forehead if you'd like some support, or if you feel like the head gets a little bit heavy. So scan the muscles of the face and just notice if there's any clenching, tightening around the jaw area. If there is, you can separate the teeth. You can roll the tongue around on the teeth to help relax the muscles. Same thing here with the eyebrows or the forehead. Notice if there's any furrowing or tightness here. Next breath, we slowly lift through the gaze. You can stay just as you are in your Sphinx, or we'll start to move into a seal. You know your body best. If this is appropriate for your back, you'll walk your hands to the corners of the mat and lift. It is quite a deep back bend here, so once again, check in. Pinching, sharp pain, we come back down. Okay, we're not going to stay here too long, but if you need more, you walk your hands back. If you need less, you walk your hands forward. Nice deep breaths here. Good, let's come all the way down. Stack the hands here, rest the forehead on top of the hand. Beautiful. Palms come underneath the shoulders. Let's glide back through our child's pose. Big toes will touch. Knees can come nice and wide. Snuggle the rib cage between the thighs and relax the forehead. Forearms can be soft here. Beautiful. Gaze forward here. Let's come onto our hands and knees. Walk the Wrists underneath the shoulders here, knees under the hips. We'll take an inhale, draw the belly towards earth, heart lifts, gaze lifts. And then on the exhale, round the spine into your cat pose. Tuck the tailbone, draw the chin towards chest. Inhale, big lift through the heart, the gaze. Exhale, round. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, deep breath in. And exhale. Beautiful. Come back into your table and we'll move into our frog pose next. So I'll invite you to come long ways on your mats. So horizontally. It is nice to have some extra padding here. Okay, I just want to demo first before we start getting into this that there's a baby frog variation. So baby frog, you're going to bring your toes towards each other, and I'm just going to turn here to demo. So baby frog is kind of like a child's pose. You'll have your toes to touch, but your knees will come super wide, and then you'll rest on your forearms, okay? So this is always an option here, especially if the pose gets just a little bit too intense. All right, I like to use blocks, or you can have a bolster, or it's not necessary. Just really up to you. Big toes are going to touch. Let's start here with baby frog. Knees come wide, sit the hips back. Good. Now, release your forearms either on props or on the ground. So right here in our baby frog, you're going to start to feel that inner sensation through the groin and the inner thigh. Stay here if you like. You can come into a deeper variation by walking your feet out. So notice why they call it frog pose, right? The frog feet. So really intense, really a big stretch, right? So if we're not ready for this intensity, I'll just ask you to come back to baby frog, start there, okay? All right. Where can we use our breath here to really dive deep into our practice, into our hold of this posture? So, super intense, right? Can we breathe into those really tender spaces, into the tissue that we feel is opening? And whatever starts to arise here, maybe there's a mental aspect to this posture. Maybe we're holding something in this area that's ready to be released. So notice if there's a texture or quality of emotion that comes up being here or in any posture. And can we sit with this and allow it to just arise without judgment? Arise without feeling like we have to change or make something different, right? And when we just let it be, we can let it heal and clear itself. Beautiful. Let's give about 8 to 10 more breaths. Wonderful. Okay, so if we're here in our full frog, we're going to start to walk your toes in, walk your palms onto your blocks, and then walk your knees in, releasing any props. Good. Let's come into a child's pose. So bring your knees together here. Come long ways on your mat. Relax your forehead. Snuggle the arms beside the body. Release the hands, start to lift the torso. Good. Let's come onto our back. So removing our blankets here. We'll come flat on the back. Go ahead and draw your knees in here. Give yourself a little squeeze. All right. So let's go ahead and take that right knee directly over the left. Draw your inner thighs towards each other here. Okay, so it's like tying a shoelace, one lace on top of the other. Draw your knees in, and we're just going to hold here for a couple breaths before we take our spinal twist. So if you can loop your arm underneath the right calf, you can interlace the fingers and draw that left knee towards the chest. This is one option. You can also grab the top knee or the left knee, or you can use a strap. So you can wrap a strap around the left mound of the foot here and draw your knee towards you. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then we'll exhale, release the bind with the hands, keep the legs. We'll take the legs over to the left side. So you can use your left hand to guide the knee, walk the feet over, and reach out with your right arm. Here it might be nice to have a block underneath the right knee to support here. Of course, if this isn't comfortable for your hips, you can just stack your knees. Inhale, uncross the right leg, come back through center, and take that left knee over the right. Inner thighs draw towards each other, draw the knees in towards chest for our recline shoelace pose. Perhaps you interlace onto that outer right shin. There's also an option to take the back of the thigh. So find the variation for you. What we don't want is to round through the upper body and lift off the floor. So try to have the shoulder blades as close to the earth as possible, back of the head soft. Noticing the outer left hip here and sending our breath into that space. You might start to take deeper breaths here, breathing out through the mouth. Beautiful. Release the bind with the hands. Take a nice deep breath in. We'll take that left knee, take it over to the right. Reach out with your left arm so you can stretch through the chest. Option here to slide a prop underneath this left knee. Slowly make your way back through center, uncross the legs. Give yourself a nice squeeze, a hug, and a rock right to left. Maybe we grab outer edges of the feet or the shins. We'll take a final happy baby pose, coming into a neutral spine. So once again, keep the spine elongated, the back is rooted down, and if there is any lifting here through the head or the shoulders, just slide your hands down the shin so you can access the pose. Good. Slowly begin to release. Take any final movements that you need, and we'll make our way into our master pose. What does that look like for you today? Taking traditional Shavasana, heels come to the corners of the mat, the arms beside the body, and the palms face up. If we feel more comfortable with the low back, you can always bend your knees. Feet would be as wide as the mat. You will let your knees fall inwards. Another wonderful posture is to slide some props underneath your knees and support your low back. So wherever you land, just let it be. Try to soften and relax here. And take any last wiggles or movements so that the body can find that most peaceful stillness as we settle. So feeling the connective points between the body and the earth. Notice how the earth is supporting you. And then sweep the body with a gentle final body scan, and just notice if there is any parts that can relax and release a little bit more. As we move into our state of corpse pose, we allow the practice to wash away. We bring in the new restoration and rejuvenation that comes with letting go, creating space for something new. Each breath cycle, natural, soft, organic. Feeling new breath coming in and letting old breath be released. The beautiful cycle here of renewal. Feel the body completely relax here. Slowly start to reawaken, taking time here to bring gentle movements through the toes and the fingers, through the ankles and the wrist. Reach the arms overhead, take that nice full body stretch. And then allow the knees to hug into the chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze. Taking our time, we rock onto one side of the body and we'll gently rise. Beautiful. Let's come into our easy seat pose to conclude our practice here together. Bringing our palms to the heart space, taking that soft bow of the chin. Taking this moment here to honor ourselves, honoring our beautiful bodies, and honoring this practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. Wishing you all peace, love, light. Namaste.